Good morning, admin. I've been needing to share my story for a long time. My story started 2019. There was a lady selling outside brooms and pots. Then my mom told me to go buy a broom, and the lady gave me a pot for free. She said it was a gift for supporting her. My mom refused since the pot was more expensive than the broom. We placed the broom in the house and went on with our lives. But I had noticed a change around me. My friends were buying me snacks and anything I'd ask for. I thought they were joking or that one day I'll owe them, but nothing. Then when I went to town, every man that looked like had money would want to buy me things just like that. They said I looked nice and they wanted to take care of me. Big cars would stop for me and I was getting money everywhere. When I told my mom about it, she thought I was lying and I was doing wrong things, until she went to town with me and she saw herself what was happening. Men were telling her that her daughter is so beautiful, they want to marry her. She thought maybe the cleansing worked because before that we had went to the river to cleanse and asked my ancestors to open doors for me. These men would send me money in thousands that I even started fixing my home with my mother, as it was just the two of us. Everyone adored me, but small children were afraid of me. They would run and cry when they see me. I basically got everything I wanted. Then in 2020, I went to do policing at a college. I was paying my own studies and even bought myself a car. Life was good for me, without doing anything. And I was still a virgin at that time. Getting to the city, my life exploded with riches. Everyone wanted to be around me, doing things for me. Until I met a boy I liked, and finally gave him my womanhood. The boy left early in the morning. Didn't say anything to me. I called him, he did not pick up. Until I saw him at Groove. The way he looked at me, it was like I was stinking. I tried talking to him, he just told me to stay far from him and never call him again. I was hurt as it was my first time with him, but he treated me bad. Fine, I moved on, and the same thing happened to the next guy he just left. And this one actually threw up after we made love on my bed and told me, Wojciech, I don't want to see you again. I was breaking inside and I didn't understand why this was happening. Decided to stay away from boys and focus on making more money. And I started being a runner. I had over 2,000 customers in a week. I had my friends help me with running and we'd share the money. Funny thing is their money wouldn't buy them grocery. It was just vanishing while mine was piling and overflowing. Around June, I decided to go home visit my mother and see how the house was coming along. Guys, it was a beautiful house finished and all the old people furniture. I honestly didn't like my mom's choice of furniture, but it was her house. And the broom we bought the year before was finished. I took it out to throw it, went to sleep, and I felt something pricking me. When I checked, it was the broom. I didn't take it serious. I thought maybe I brought it back with me. I went to take it to the kitchen so I can throw it out tomorrow. That morning when I woke up, the broom was again in bed with me. I told my mom that the broom was haunted as a joke. She threw it in the bin. I saw her. I was behind her. Later that night, I go sleep and I feel the same pricks. I search and there the broom in bed with me. You see, now I was surprised and confused. I went to my mom's room and she came. She was also confused and thought I was playing a prank with her. But I was not. I ended up sleeping with my mother. But when she woke up in the morning, she saw the broom in bed beside me. She told me she was going to put, and we'll talk about the broom business later, but took it outside as she left. I went with her to unlock the gate, and I went back in the house. I got in my mom's bed to sleep, and I heard someone calling me loudly. I responded yes, and got out of bed, went outside to see who it was, but there was no one there. I went back in the house. I heard my name being called again. This time it was soft. I followed it to my bedroom, and there on the bed was this tall, handsome man with dreads. He had some white hair. Not that he's old, but one of those people with natural white hair. He was fit. He was hot. I was hypnotized. There was a stranger in my house on my bed, not dressed, with one huge peepee, brown eyes that were like shining. I'm not sure how to explain them. He still kept calling my name, and I went to him. He did things to me. I was left weak. I couldn't walk or talk, and I fell asleep. He smelled like sea fish and mud. Then he whispered to me to get him his home. He's cold. He wants to rest. All I could dream about was that pot the woman gave us for free. It was spinning in my head. I slept until late when my mother returned, and ashamed, I didn't tell her what happened. The man had disappeared. We ate, I took a bath, and went to bed. But I didn't sleep that night. That guy came back. He just appeared in my bed. And for some reason I couldn't say anything. only yes, yes, yes. That's all I could say. And again he did it, to a point where I felt like I was floating. I was not feeling anything anymore. Then, as I slept, he whispered in my ear again that he wants his home. This time he gave me directions. Morning came, I was tired and decided to go back to college. On my way, I stopped at a random house and the lady that sold me the broom was there with the pot. I didn't say anything to her, just took the pot and left. When I got to my flat, I filled the pot with water and some salt, placed it under my bed, and went to bed. I slept peacefully that night, and for the whole week I stayed indoors, just asking myself what happened back at home. I fell asleep on the couch. That's when I had the strangest dream ever, but it felt so real. I saw this big green snake as I was standing at the bottom of a mountain. It came to me and literally talked to me to follow it up the mountain. It was a long distance. We got up the mountain. There was a river, a beautiful river with diamonds, gold and green stones. The snake told me to enter the river. I went in with it. It told me it has a gift for me. All I had to say was yes, and I did. Then it gave me a big gold stone. Then it took me down the river as it was too heavy. I had to let it go so I can go up for air, and the snake laughed and said I cannot be too greedy, as the price to pay would drown me. Then I woke up and heard a knocking sound from under the bed. It was the pot. When I opened it, there was a stick inside, like the sticks from the broom that woman sold me. I called my mom immediately and told her everything. She told me she will go and find out what was happening. After a while, there was nothing. My life was getting back on track. Then one day, one of my friends came for a study session, and out of nowhere that man came, smiling and looking at my friend. But she didn't see him. She said she was getting sleepy and slept. In the morning, she tells me she is tired and had the strangest dream ever of a man with dreadlocks, handsome and fit, giving it to her all night, and she felt that it was real, as her private part was feeling like it was entered. I joked about it, and we forgot about it. That night, the men that was sending me money sent even more money. It was crazy as to how much I was making. And the following months, I kept getting more and more money, and the man would visit now and again for his price. After a few months, I dreamt again about the snake, and we up to the river again. This time it told me that it cannot survive on me alone, it needs fresh food. So more girls, and I can also do it a favor by getting it some meat, red meat, a cow to be specific. I woke up and told my mom again. She said she'll go find out what is happening. The following week, my friends and I decided to throw a street party, and I bought a cow. That's how the snake ate, and most of my friends slept at my place, so the man also got to them. Most of them didn't remember what happened, but this one friend looked at me funny and she was angry at me or something. After they left, I called her to ask what was wrong. She said I was into funny business, and what I am doing is wrong. She hung up and blocked me. By the end of the year, I started feeling bloated. I was not feeling good. At the hospital, they told me I have low blood. When I was in the toilet, something came out. It was like worms, brown and slimy. They came from my private part. I was left bleeding and tired. Then I passed out. When I woke up, I was energetic and more money was coming in from everywhere. Those worms were not in the toilet. I checked the pot and there was now more sticks. Before it was one, now it was 6 sticks in there. A few days passed, and at night that man and 5 other men came, and I was left empty, like they really did too much. Next day I packed and went home. So tired, I slept immediately after I got home, and the next morning my mom was so tired she had all this white slime on her body. I knew what happened to her, and we suffered that. The whole December we were their slaves every day and every night. And one night I had the dream again. The snake came and we went up to the river. And there was more snakes now, 5 more, all green. It told me that it wants more fresh meat. It and the others are tired of us. I woke up and told my mom. Still, she said, we'll go. and I never bothered to ask when or push her to go. I eventually dropped out. I didn't go back in February. I was tired all the time. So this one time, instead of these handsome men, it was actual weird-looking snakes. Until today, I cannot explain how it happened, but it did. I've never felt more sick, ever in my life. I was so tired I couldn't take it. I looked like a sick dog, and I just knew what to do. I took some of the sticks out the pot, went to this lady that I know sells brooms, and I bought 5 brooms from her and added 1 stick to each broom. I drove to the next town and sold those brooms. Surprise, as I looked in the back of the car, I saw 5 pots. I went back to each house and gave them the pots. That night was not so hectic as it was one snake with my mom and me. If you've seen a rich person looking crazy, that was me. And somehow my aunt just shows up with a man. And we were looking rough. The man said we had to leave. He was a normal guy. Looking at him, you'd never think he is a traditional healer. We walked to the river, and it was far. And things were done. And then the man showed up and walked into the river, then changed into the snake I've been dreaming about. It took months to recover, and my mom said she did call my aunt asking her if she knows a powerful traditional healer to help me, and after not showing up, my aunt went to the traditional healer to check me if everything was going okay. That's when he saw I was given something. Worst part, one didn't go looking for it. I simply bought a broom canty. That broom is not a normal broom. I guess someone went and got a snake and the snake and babies, and she had to pass them out because they became too much for her. And so on. But we've got a house now, and I just feel for those women I sold those brooms to. And I can't do anything about it, as I can't take back a gift. And the traditional healer guy said I should stay away. I still cannot forgive that lady. And now we go out and find sticks, or what they call them, to make our own brooms. And when people ask what happened to my money, I tell them I won lotto and spent all the money. Now I am broke. And that thing makes you to not want to go find out what is happening. That is why my mom kept saying she'll go but never went, and I never pushed her. It blocks you from getting help. If my aunt did not think about going herself, I don't know what would have happened. Since I'm her late brother's only child, she cares too much about me, and I can't thank her enough. And from that day, I was like brooms no more.